Hello everybody and welcome to your maths video for today. You're going to need quite a few things today, so after this list, pause to check you have everything. You need pen and paper, objects, lots of little objects to help you count. Lots of pasta, coins, buttons, sequins, Legos. So I've got some sequins to help me. Try and make sure they're the same kind of object, like a group of sequins you need. I've got some... Oops, my sequin's fallen in there. I've got some pumpkin seeds. You'll be surprised around your house at what you can find to help you count. I've also got some toy cupcakes. Collect little bits of what you can to help you in today's lesson to help us count. You're going to need some scissors and you're going to need some strips like yesterday's lesson. We're going to do some more bar modelling today. So you'll need strips and your scissors to cut them up. The last thing you'll need is a ruler to help you draw those bar models. Today we are going to be learning to count in threes to help us solve word problems and learn our 3 times tables. To start with, we're going to read a word problem and I would like you to think about how we solve it. So it says, Miss Dawe plants 4 rows of flowers. In each row there are 3 flowers. How many are there all together? What are the most important bits of information in this word problem? Is it flowers? Does it matter that I'm trying to work out how many flowers? Not really. It could be lines of bananas. It could be lines of people. It could be lines of cakes. That's not really going to help us work it out. What is? That's right. The 4 is going to help us work it out. The 4 rows. We'll find out why rows are important in a minute. And that in each row there are 3 flowers. We need to be really careful when we're reading word problems because it doesn't tell us what operation to do. It doesn't tell us if it's an add, a take away, a times or a divide. We have to use the words to help us. If you rush, some of you might do this. You might see 4 and 3. I'm just going to do 4, add 3, same as 7. Is that the answer to my word problem? Thumbs up if you think yes, thumbs down if you think something else. I'm glad if you got your thumbs like this. It doesn't say there are 4 flowers and then 3 flowers. It says there are 4 rows of 3 flowers. What does rows mean? Have a think. Let's do a picture of it together. I'm going to get my other board so you can see it next to the word problem. Can you show me an action for rows? Yeah, rows are like lines of. I'm going to use my sequence for my flowers and reread my word problem to help me. So 4 rows. So I now know my rows. I need to make like 4 lines of them going across. Let's do that. So I've got 1 line of 3 because it says I have 3 flowers on every row. 1 row of 3 flowers. How many rows do I need? 4. 2 rows of 3. 3 rows of 3. 4 rows of 3. What do you think? Does this match the word problem? I've got 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows. So I've got the 4 rows and it says I have to have 3 on every row. I've got 3, yeah. Got 3 on this one, 3 on this one, 3 on this one, and 3 on this one. Okay, so I've drawn it out. Sometimes it helps if we do a drawing for a word problem, as we firstly need to understand what it means before we can write our number sentence. So how do we know how many flowers there are altogether? Am I going to go... I'm going to move this across so you can still see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could do that. We would still get to the answer, but it's a very long way of doing it. Can you think of another way? Oh, yeah, we could. Some of you might be saying adding because we've got 3. Add another 3. Add another 3. Add another 3. I've got 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. As it's the same number we're adding all the time, we're adding just 3s, what could I count in? That's right, I could count in my 3s. So I could go 3, 6, 9, 12. I might actually have to move this across so I can rewrite it again with my answer in. 3, 6, 9, 12. So we could do it as what's called a repeated addition. Repeat just means we do the same thing lots of times. So we're adding 3 together every time. So it's a repeated addition. How could we make this even quicker and even shorter way? We've got 3, I'll give you a clue. Miss Alanda does this. Lines of, groups of, rows of. That's right, we could say there are 3 lines of, sorry, not 3 lines of, 4 lines of 3. And that just means we've added 3 4 times. This is one group of 3 like that, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3. So it's just a shorter way of saying we're adding 3 together 4 times. We've seen this sign a lot. It means lots of different things. We can say multiply, we can say times, groups of, so you might say you have bunches of bananas or groups of players in a team. Lines of or rows of, so in a supermarket you might have lines of cakes or lines of pizzas, or you might see it as lots of. So all of these words often mean you have to times. So that just means I count 3 4 times. So I go 3, that's once, 6, that's twice, 9, 12. So my answer is 12. Is there another way we could work this out? What did I say we might use my strips for earlier? I'm going to move my sequins out the way. That's right, I said I might do it as a bar model. So I'm going to put this up here now and create some more room for my bar model. How would it look as a bar model? So I've got my bar. So how many rows do I need first of all? I need 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And in my word problem it says I need 4 rows. So these are going to be like my rows. So I'm going to cut it into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are my parts. And I'm going to do them all in the same colour because I know that every part is going to be a 3. On every row there's a 3. So this one will be 3. This one will be 3. This one will be 3. I'm going to get another whiteboard so we can see it on the whiteboard. So it shows up a bit more. And this one is going to be a 3. We know they all have to be 3 because in my word problem it says there are 3 on every row. So these are like, if you have a look, my 4 rows of 3. I just haven't got 3 drawn on every single part, but I know each part is 3. Okay, now to get my whole, that's the how many are there all together. So I'm going to cut my other strip. Oops, that bit's probably, I need to make sure it's the same length for it to be that one. Great, so this is now my whole. So to work out my whole, what do I need to count in? I need to count in 3s and I need to count all of my parts because these 4 parts, or these 4 rows, go together to make my whole. So let's count in 3s again. 3, 6, 9, 12. So all together there are 12. So to help me so far, I've done a bar model. Does anyone remember what this one was called, where we draw it out as pictures or use objects? This one is called an array. My turn, your turn, array. And we use it to help us by drawing things in lines of. Which one do you prefer so far? Do you prefer the array or the bar model method? I quite like both methods. I like the fact that this one helps me to understand this one with a drawing. And it's really clear, but I like this one because I actually think this one's quicker. So I've got my 4 groups, my 4 parts. I've written my number on each, which is always the same because I'm timesing the same number, which is 3. And this is my whole, my answer. There's another way we're going to do today. We are going to do a number line. So I'm going to draw it across here. This is where you'll also need your ruler. Unfortunately, all the number lines, the green ones we use, are in school. If you're in school, you might want to use some of them. If you're at home, you can just draw a number line like me. We're starting our number line at 0. Let's go back to this. We've got 4 rows, and in each row there are 3. We've worked out we need to count in 3s. Fantastic. So each jump that I do, each row that I do, I need to count in 3s. How many jumps do I do? 4, because there are 4 rows. This is going to be like 1 row of 3. So that's going to be like 1 line of 3. Next one. 2 lines of 3. So I've got 3, 6, 3 lines of 3. So that looks like that, and that one now, which is going to be 3, 6, 9. And then 4 rows of 3 is going to be 3, 6, 9, 12. If you find it tricky counting in 3s, I like to whisper the ones we don't count. So I go 1, 2, 3. We whisper every third one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can see we miss out 2 numbers in between and we whisper them. When we get to the next third number, we say it loudly. 1. Let's do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 3 ways of working out the same word problem. We've got what's this called? An array. We've got a bar model, and we've got a number line. We're going to practice doing those now. So we're going to have a new word problem, and we're going to try the 3 different methods. Have a look to see if you can remember which one's which, as this will be useful for in a minute. Okay, ready for our next word problem? Are you ready? So it says, whilst I'm getting everything ready, pause the video and have a read through. Have you read it? Are you ready? Let's have a go together. It says, Miss Dawe buys a box of cupcakes. In the box there are 5 rows, my S has got rubbed out, of cupcakes with 3 cakes on each row. How many cupcakes are there? Put your hand up if you've bought a box of cupcakes before. Maybe from a supermarket, maybe from a special bakery like Hummingbird Bakery in Angel. Put your hand up if you have before. I definitely have. Mrs. Clayton, I wonder if you've bought a box of cupcakes. So we need to find out how many cupcakes there are to see if we have enough to share. So, is it the cupcakes that are important in this? No, I know I love cupcakes too, but it's not really going to help us with our maths. So it could be anything again. It could be flowers, it could be chocolates, it could be plants. What are the important pieces of information in here? Let me read it again. Miss Dawe buys a box of cupcakes. In the box there are 5 rows of cupcakes with 3 cakes on each row. How many cupcakes are there? It's the most important part. 5 rows. Not 5, 5 rows. And there are 3 on each row. Does that mean we do 5 out of 3? No, there aren't 5 cakes and then 3 cakes that we add. There are 5, what was our sign? Rows of 3. I would like you to see it if you can do it as an array. I am going to use these objects to help me. I have my cupcakes. I would like you to do it in objects, and then we'll do it as a drawing together. I'm going to put my whiteboard here. The first thing I would like you to do is make it as an array, so lines of, using your objects. It doesn't have to be cupcakes. It could be sequins, it could be anything you have around the house. Just pretend they're cupcakes. So you're doing 5 rows of, so 5 lines, and in each line there are 3. Okay, let's have a go at doing it together. I've got 1 line of 3. Doesn't matter that they're different colours. 2 lines of 3. 3 lines of 3. Don't they look delicious? 4 rows of 3. Can you point to where my rows are? Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 rows of 3. Okay. So you've got that. Can you put a ring around each row? 1 row of 3. 2 rows of 3. 3 rows of 3. 4 rows of 3. 5 rows of 3. So I know I've got 5 rows and there are 3 on every single row. So I could now write 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. What if you didn't have objects? Can you try and draw this as a picture? You don't have to draw the cupcakes because that will take us a long time, and the thing we want to do is find out the total number of cupcakes. So if I was going to draw, I might just draw circles. Can you have a go at drawing this as a picture? So we can do it as 1 row of 3, 2 rows of 3. Can you see this matches this? 3 rows of 3, 4 rows of 3, 5 rows of 3, and I can check by doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like this one, I've got 3, 3 in every single row. Now I'm going to take these away because we're going to do our next method. So I'm going to keep my drawing there because I still need it. I just wanted to show you how you can do it with objects, but how you don't need objects, you can do it as a drawing as well. What's my number sentence going to be? How many rows have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines of 3, same as. What do we need to count in because it's the same every time? We're going to count in 3s. Ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I've got 15 cupcakes. How else could I have done that? I would now like you to do it as a bar model. How many pieces do you need to cut it into? How many parts are there? How many rows are there? What do you need to write on each row? And what's your answer? Have a go at doing that now. So I'm going to cut it into, so this is my how many there are all together. I'm just going to put that here. So this is my total, how many there are all together. I'm going to do that in orange. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, so I've got 5 parts. One, 2. Oh, these need to be a bit smaller because they all have to be the same size. Why? Yeah, that's right, because they mean the same number. Each part is 3 because we're counting in 3s. That's 1 part, 2 parts. 3, 4, 5. And when I've cut my 5 parts, they should be the same as my, I might just trim these down a little bit. They should be the same as my whole. Yeah, they're the same. So I've got 5, remember these are like my rows of 5 parts, and 3 on each one. Just like I've got 3 in each of these rows. Okay, let's count in 3s. Ready? Off we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Good job, guys. What if you didn't have these strips with you and you were trying to work this out? That's right. Yesterday we were doing it as a bar model drawing, which you could also do. I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to do my whole first of all. That's how many I have all together. That's what I'm trying to find out today, and that's going to be my biggest number because it's all together. Then I'm going to draw my second one underneath. Because remember, they have to be equal. What do I have to cut this into? Let's write 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on each one, I would write 3. Let's count again. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Pause the video, practice counting in threes. There's one more method that we just saw. We also saw the number line. So take your ruler, draw the number line. How are we going to show that or this as a number line? What are we jumping in? We're jumping or counting in threes, so I don't need to write down numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, because they're not in my 3 times table. So I start with 0. I'm going to do one jump of 3, which is 3, remember? 1, 2. You don't have to write those on, but if that helps you, you can. So that's one line of 3. 1 times 3. How many times do we have to do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of. We've got 2 times 3, which is 6. 3 times 3, 9. 4 times 3, 12. And my last one, 5 times 3 is 15. 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 3 different methods to solve the same word problem. We've got an array, good job, a bar model, and also a number line. How do we know again that these all have to have 3? That's right, because we're counting in threes, and because all of these parts are the same size, they must represent the same number. If they were all different sizes, they couldn't be the same number. I've got one final challenge for you. You're doing really well. I always like teaching counting and timesing in because we can use lots of different pictures, lots of different objects, and I love doing lots of different methods. So this one says, what times or multiply or lots of sentences could we write for this array? And you can see it's blank at the moment because I haven't made it. So I'm going to make an array. So I'm going to use, these are the pumpkin seeds I have for marshmallow and chocolate. If you don't remember that, my gerbils. We're going to see how many there are all together. So counting in ones takes a long time, so we're going to count in threes. We lay them out first. You know what? I might actually, because I've got a lot more than this, I'm going to have to rub off my number sentence at the top. Because I'm not going to have enough room. So it says, what number sentence could we write for this array? So let me rub this out. Oh, and I've got 3 more left. Right, there we go. Have a think. What number sentences could I write for this array? What would the quickest way of working out how many pumpkin seeds? What's the quickest way of working that out? You might need to copy it down as a drawing, pause video, or you might want to point to it on the screen to help you. Okay, have you got the first way? I'm going to draw how many lines there are first, because I can see that all threes, so immediately that tells me I can count in threes. If there were different numbers on every row, that would be much harder, because I wouldn't be able to count in the same number. So I know it's going to be something times 3. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows of 3. Let's count. Off we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What comes after? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I could do it as 7 times 3 is the same as 21. Is there another way I could do it? Oh, I'm going to be really impressed. Message me if you managed to get the other way. Is there another time sentence I could write? I'll give you a clue. What if I turn it this way? Are there also the same number on other rows? Look at it going across again. Yeah, we could also do it this way. That's one line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this row. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 on this row. So I could also do, if I've got 7, 7 and 7, what could I write this as? 3 lines of 7. So I can also do 3 lines of 7. Which one is easier for you? 7 times 3 or 3 times 7? A lot of you might have said this one, because we all know how to count in threes. Those of you who have learnt your 7 times table, you might say that one's easier for you because it's quicker. We only have to do 3 times 7, whereas here we have to do 7 times 3. Who can count in sevens? Should we try? 7, 14, 21. It's the same answer, so it doesn't actually matter which way around you do it. If you ever see 3 times 7 and you think, oh, I don't know how to do that, you could draw an array. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you could count them all. That will get you the answer. Quicker way, just switch them round. We know 7 times 3 is 21, or switch them round. 3 times 7 is also 21. That's the great thing about times tables. If you don't know all of them, switch them round until you do know how to count in the number. So I know how to count in threes, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm not sure how to count in sevens yet, so I'm going to transform it. A bit like adding, doesn't matter which way around it is. Really clever, right? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. Please now download the sheet on your portfolio. You have 3 different times table sentences to do. I would like you to do each one as an array, a bar model, and a number line. So that means you have 3 things to do for 3 times tables. So you have 9 things to do. You have 1 question, you have 3 questions, and you have to do 3 things for each question, which means you have 9 things to do altogether. Got it? You can either do it on the sheet or do it on a separate piece of paper. Remember to use your ruler. When you're drawing your array, line it up. If you don't line it up, you might make mistakes. Thank you for tuning in today. See you tomorrow for a lesson on division. Bye for now.